All right, let's go ahead and take a look at number 8. At first, number 8 is quite daunting. It's got pretty large numbers, there's some negatives, there's quite a few variables. And so at first it's like, okay, do I just want to start doing factoring by grouping or look for a way to make things simpler? And we're going to do just that. Let's actually start to see if we can simplify this even as a whole unit before we start getting into the factoring by grouping. So we're going to do that by first looking to see if there's any variable that's constant throughout all 4 of them. No, there isn't. Okay, so what about a constant? Is there a number that can go into each one of my coefficients? So on 21, the variables are 7 and 3. So let's start with 7 because that's a little bit larger. Can 7 go into 56? Yes, it can. Can 7 go into 48? Yes, it can. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, can 7 go into 224? And yes, it can. So excellent. So 7 can actually go into all 4 of these terms. So we're going to divide everything by 7. And that's going to allow us to technically pull it out here. And so 7 goes into 224. We're just going to rewrite this in its new simplest form. And 7 times 8 AC, 7 times 12 YZ minus 7 times 3 YC. So you can actually divide all 4 of these by a value. Sometimes the value of a constant and a variable, sometimes just a variable, sometimes just a constant in this situation. So now I can actually start doing my grouping of my 2 values. So I'm going to do 7 times, and I'm going to have 32AZ plus 8AC. And I'm going to at first include the negative into this group here. 12YZ minus 3YC. And it's going to be inside a double set of parentheses because this 7 isn't going to disappear. It's still multiplied by everything else. What can I pull out of here? Well, 8 can go into 32 and there's a common A. So I'm going to divide everything by 8A. So my 7 stays there. I'm going to have an 8A out here that I'm factoring by. That gives me a 4Z plus C. And then over here, this is a negative 12. That's a negative 3. I want to make this positive. So I'm going to pull out a negative 3. And then there's a Y that is common between both of them. So that gives me a 4Z plus C. And big thing to do is come back over here and check it and go, yep, that is the same. Excellent. That's what we want. So now my common binomial is 4Z plus C. And once I simplify and factor out that, I'm left with 8A minus 3Y, double set of parentheses. Right? So that kind of gives you an idea of how to do 8, how you can actually simplify it first by pulling out one value that will stay there, make sure it's there at the end, and also how to be able to address a negative here and multiple variables and what it could look like. All right, I hope this helps.